for the Dash League
Oh
Network.
my, yeah, no, it's
It's
live
not
now.
live.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Are you kidding me?
I
I saw. Okay.
Everybody was wondering if you were gonna if you were fixing something or if it didn't happen.
No, no,
Like,
no, no. Ladies and gentlemen, I am very sorry. This is the first time this
you've been
happened for a
casting this
stream.
entire time, unfortunately.
Perfect time for this to be happening. Well, so far, Other has more or less been dominating Life on this first map. Life got the first push here, but did not make it through the checkpoint. Only made it to that 38% mark, which is what Other has to make it to at this point. And Life is doing a surprisingly good job, considering the rate of Other's push up to this point, of holding them. But it is looking not so good for Life's chances of fully holding them off as long as Other is able to consistently get micro pushes like this. They're going to make it through checkpoint, or rather to the point that Life made it, with more than enough time to get the win. Of course, because this is not in the middle of the season, Other does not have to make it any certain distance beyond where Life made it to at that point. Good cart stacking by Life, but F2P gets several kills in a row, is playing very precociously on this cart, but now Other is trying to disrupt. I don't know about that last hop on cart. It could have gotten a little bit more time there. And now Life trying to stack, but Top Star gets taken out, and Other takes map 1. Well, what a first map. Absolute domination by Other on this Launchpad map. Excuse me while I pull up the stats here. Hopefully this will keep everyone informed on how this match went. It was short, sweet, sudden, and Other takes the win. F2P top killing with 43 kills and top scoring. Top Star top killing for their team. Now we will be swapping servers in just a moment for map 2, which is going to be Canyon. So I'm going to head over to the waiting screen here, and I will see you all there. The in-between map timer is going to be about 15 minutes, giving players time for their headsets to charge. Until then, we'll be here together in the waiting room. And here we are back at it again with map 2 on the second server, which I believe is Life's chosen server. We will be getting started soon enough with the Canyon map today. Really looking forward to this one. We've had some pretty exciting Canyon maps recently. Got a question in the comments here. Where is Night Owl? I'm not sure. That is one thing that surprised me today. I'm sure there was some sort of scheduling conflict. Life Owl, or whoa, excuse me, Night Owl is a bit of a star player for Life, one of the captains of the team, a very solid player all around, especially with those pistols and locking down long sight lines and disrupting. Kind of a keystone player, in my opinion, for Life. Not having them today is definitely hurting them for this match. It's going to make things that much more difficult, and of course, whichever team tends to be dominating in the kills and also in the general experience in the game tends to dominate on the Canyon map. It is the payload that's been around for the longest time. It's had the most amount of time for teams to get an understanding of how the map works, generally how it should be played, and that is going to serve the more experienced, more skilled team well. There's not a ton of surprises with the strategy, at least for this map, as compared to something like Abyss, which has not really been figured out per se quite as much. A general strategy does exist, and each team has their own strategy based on their players, based on their mindset. Of course, it's kind of a given for every map, but Canyon is such tight quarters, such a small map as well, and gives such advantage to Red defending at the pre-checkpoint that making checkpoint is almost not expected by and large. So, Life is going to be starting blue. It looks like today will be the first pushers. That is quite significant, I think. If Life is able to make it through this checkpoint, I give them solid odds of actually winning this map. If Life doesn't make it to the checkpoint, we'll have to wait and see, but if you're not able to hold that main rail and that cubby that we'll see soon enough consistently, which I think is going to be difficult with the disruption we saw out of Other towards the end of that launch pad map, is going to be a difficult one for Life to take. Once again, my sincerest apologies for not starting the stream correctly. I thought the stream had started. I saw the stream moving over on my screen, over on the YouTubes, but looks like I need to hit go live on the YouTube itself in order to get this thing going. You guys missed my cool intro, my breakdown of strategies as well. Oh, you should be so sad that you missed out. Here, I'll show you one of these intro bits for now for this finals sprinter tier match. Let's take a look. Of course, that was made by Firehorse themselves, the OBS master, the casting master, as it were. My favorite caster, besides myself, of course. I've got to be the greatest caster out there. Maybe I've knocked down to second place because of today, but that's okay. That's okay. You still know I'm the favorite commentator. And of course, what caster Notgollum does and what commentator Notgollum does, those are completely separate topics. So, still number one caster in everybody's hearts, minds, and reality, as I should be. What do you think's going to be taking this second map? I have a feeling I know what everyone's answers are going to be here based on the way that Launchpad finished off, but who knows? Other is a solid team, but Life has surprised me in the past with their abilities. I mean, they made it out of the losers bracket after losing to O initially. They have a shot here, but if they don't make this first map win for them, it's going to be 2 maps to 1 map in Other's favor, and the domination, the quarry, which will be the next domination after this on the same server, is going to be a important deciding factor here. I will say that I give Life a little bit more of a chance on the domination compared to the payload anyways. I think Life has an opportunity to take this quarry back if they've really locked in their strategy and kind of come in expecting that Other is going to be taking these payloads in a fairly dominant fashion, as I think most people kind of expected, then perhaps they're going to try their hardest to sneak out a win on this canyon, but really focus in and clutch up for the next few domination maps afterwards. I'm interested to see what life has in store for Corey. In the meantime, I'm expecting a lot of disruption out of Other. We saw that a lot towards the end of that launch pad with C2 and F2P moving into position, and players like Universal, who is now swapped out for adoption papers for the second map. Also heavy on the disruption, trying to make as much space for the cart as possible, prevent life from even seeing it for the most part on both red and blue. Their plays there were quite solid. So far, we're at about a 50-50 split on the poll, which is interesting to see. With about 10 votes, this could be a little bit of an opinion poll, could really be factual if some people have insider knowledge on the strategy life has for trying to come back here, as I really think more than Other's game to win, this is this map is life's to lose. They are in a dire strait if they lose this next payload, as they will be one map from being knocked out of the tournament, and Other will be your Sprinter champions, which I don't think anybody is going to complain about. Other is a very fun team and very skilled nonetheless as well. C2 and F2P, their movement, especially with rockets and with dashing, is impressive to say the least, and extraordinary to say the most. I'll be looking out for that on their canyon defense, of course. The rocket positioning, I feel like, is something on Canyon that's changed a little bit. In the sense, the one factor that's changed throughout Canyon's history, beyond Staples being nerfed oh so long ago, before my time on Hyperdash even, is the SMG buff. SMG is going from not very useful compared to any sort of remotely skilled pistol user to now fairly dominant in long sightlines and even sometimes in close quarters, depending on the player. I expect, now that it's a solid part of the meta, especially on Canyon, to watch that main rail with SMGs. We're going to see a lot of that out of both of those teams, which is something we have not necessarily seen as much of out of these teams in past seasons. I'm excited to see how that pans out here. Curious. Wonder why my drone does not want to be even. We can just go ahead and change perspectives to OK, who's messing around up on the billboard right now. It's kind of a fun glitch. Whoa! They're just hopping right up there. And it looks like both teams are meeting in the middle, just about ready to start this second map here, as Topstar gives the thumbs up, starts the team chat only mutator, or perhaps they're just going to go right ahead and get things going. Yeah, team chat only, there we go. No league payload for this, it's just make it to the point where the enemy team does. Everyone's classic win condition. Other versus Life. Life once again starting on blue, Other once again starting on red. The opener here for Other, and this opening hold is going to be very telling, as this area is decently far away from red team's spawn, but red team does have a lot of dashes to get there. Meanwhile, all Life needs to do is walk out the door in order to start defending this cart. So far, I see no Life players on the cart. It looks like they're doing a little bit of spotting, and then Cornbread is going to go ahead and ride that cart, while Outsider does a little bit of cleanup for Other. Good double kill there. That's going to make a little bit of space for Other to start pushing forward towards this cart as it gets exposed, since no other players are getting pushed especially hard. Life now dominating the space after that one cart clear, which actually is greatly surprising me that the cart has only been cleared one time at this point. Cornbread was forced to hop off with C2 and their rockets, but at this point, now on the New York server, Life is actually dominating the space fairly well. Post-it note trying to disrupt and pull attention away from moving towards that cart as Cornbread continues to plod along, and players for Life keep moving forward in order to keep this cart going. Good flank by Post-it note once again taking out OK. The cart is getting pushed, but it's continuing to move. Where are all these other players? We're checking the mini-map, but something crazy must be happening out there. It looks like Just Drums, who just died, was going absolutely bonkers out there in others' face, and they have just not been able to push past until right now. F2P now getting a peek on the cart, and we are starting to approach that point where rockets and SMGs especially are going to be more and more viable for Red Team, and the spawn advantage is going to start to move into Red's favor. But if players like Just Drums are going to continue to get sick headshot kills like this, it's going to be difficult for Other to prevent this, to this point, pretty solid cart movement from Life, considering the circumstances they're in. The cart has been stopped at this point, and Other has the chance to set up. But as little bits of movement continue, and the disruptors continue to get past Other's defense, things are going to be a little bit difficult for Other's hold. It looks like there is one disruptor in the back lines. Adoption Papers trying to keep watch on that, but the cart is moving forward. In the meantime, we can see that in the bottom left, Adoption Papers not watching that main rail like they should be doing with those SMGs, instead opting for a slightly more defensive move, which is giving space for Life to get some movement on this cart. Good grabbing that flank dash and then backing up to the cart. We can see pretty much all of Life is around this cart. Adoption Papers getting one good kill, almost a second kill as well, and backing off, and Stubbs with the flank. They got that flank dash, they took out the SMGs, and now Life is continuing to move forward. They are behind standard pace at this point, but considering how Other has been dominating every time they do push out, they're doing very well, a very good job of distracting those other players. If they're able to make up for this deficit as they start to round this corner, then I actually give Life a decent chance of making it through this checkpoint, or at the very least making it to a point where they can try and hold Other away from victory. We can see Z2 is fully backing up after counting the kills. For Life is just trying to prevent any sort of flanking maneuvers by Life, as Life continues to get a little bit of movement at a time. If they continue to stay focused on this objective like they have been, or are able to get kills like Topstar almost did against important players like C2 with the rockets, then they'll get another solid push here. But Life just needs to group up a little bit more effectively. They've been trying to keep a consistent flow, but C2 takes himself out. Hopefully that gets called out. It looks like some cart movement is happening. Cornbread only just now getting taken out, and C2 has respawned. But Topstar gets another kill on C2, another kill on Adoption Papers as well. Those are the two most important players to kill at this moment, as they were both of the heavy players. We can see players like F2P and OK were disrupting, but having those backline players for Other taken out gave a little bit of space for Life to get a little bit more movement. We are at 2 minutes here, and flankers for Life continue to get past this their defense of the health room, and a good flank on Outsider Just Drums trades. And I don't think Stubbs has been called out as they move out of the health room, hopefully into the flank dash as well. Just Drums miting that main rail, gets punished for it. OK takes them out, and OK continues to hold this health room. Another kill on Stubbs as well. No flanking for Life. It looks like their tricks are starting to run out, but Topstar says, no way, I'm going to hold this health room if my life depends on it, which it does, and Adoption Papers takes them out anyways. SMGs watching long sightlines, not what Adoption Paper is doing. They are opting to waste dashes from Life, presumably, and watching this flank, as that seems to be the main thing that has been holding Other back from holding Life back even further than this current point. We are at about a minute left. We're starting to approach the point where things become nearly hopeless for Life, but if Life continues to get little bits and bobs of movement, then an overtime push into the checkpoint is far from unheard of. In fact, it's happened several times before on this map. This is the map to get an overtime push through the checkpoint of any of them. As Stubbs and Post-it Note move forward, they both get wiped by those defending other players. Just Drums opting for a little bit of movement, but every little bit counts. A Life player makes it through to the flank dash. Adoption Papers now watching the cart with those SMGs, watching the health room as well. And a flanker tries to move through. It looks like that other flanker got taken out. You can see on the minimap there, we are approaching the 20-second mark, and things for Life are not looking good if they were hoping to make it through the checkpoint. However, their distance so far is pretty solid, and Other really needs to be stacking players on cart and not jumping off of it like they did just now. Cornbread is surviving a surprisingly long amount of time up to this point. Now some rockets are set up for Other. We approach the 3, 2, 1 second mark. Overtime for Life. No overtime. Perfect rocket timing there as 3 Life players hop on the cart, but too little, too late. No overtime for Life means no overtime push through the checkpoint, means Other does not have to deal with another 6 minutes of post-checkpoint defending. All they have to do is push to that 47% mark for Life. Looks like Cornbread is going to go into the back line to grab some shocks. Topstar grabbing double shotguns, a classic, holding that cubby, that tight cubby there. Just Drums also getting some far shotguns. 2 shotgun players over on Life. Post-it note holding that wall, holding back a little bit, trying to prevent some sort of cheeky disruption by Other. And Stubbs moving in with Topstar, watching that corner. Now the cart is moving out and away okay. Riding the cart peeks out a little bit early, but because they had a teammate defending them, they were able to survive on that cart, and Stubbs was not able to get the kill on those SMGs. Those offensive SMGs, very patient, holding back that long, were able to make more than enough space for Other to get free cart movement. Stubbs trying to move forward onto this cart, but they're going to get taken out because they were at such low health. Okay, also at low health, but because their spawn is just right behind them, I am not worried for them at all. Post-it note getting taken out by C2 with a trade there. Stubbs onto the cart once again. They just make it past that Other defense easy breezy, and these rockets are hitting the cart, getting a little bit of stoppage, but Other has been nothing if not consistent with this movement. We remember Life got stopped a couple times at this point and then started to catch up their movement, but Other has been stopped basically only right now at this moment in time. Cornbread playing it very close to the cart riding both as blue and as red, and making a good showing of it with those dual SMGs. I like this super early cart stacking by Life. This is actually the point where you really want to start stacking that cart. As Red, you have such a advantage with your dashes that the point of spawn advantage gets a lot earlier for you than you might expect compared to most other maps, and as long as you're able to keep up in the kills at least a little bit, since I think Other is more or less out killing Life pretty all around the board. If you're able to make it to that cart and keep a solid Rocketeer like Topstar alive and well and not too pushed back, then you're going to consistently stop that cart, even if disruptors get past your defense, like has happened. You can see on the minimap that somebody for Other is moving forward through the tube, gets a peek on Topstar. Topstar trying to fight against C2 and survive. F2P with the double flank takes them out, but no cart movement is happening as this disruption continues to take out Life player after Life player, and now watching that rocket like a hawk. Topstar knows that F2P is still alive in the back lines, sneakily grabs a rocket and is able to get a hit on the cart and back away, forcing F2P to get a bounce shot. What? I thought F2P was going to be forced out of position there. Not a lot of consistent cart movement from Other, but F2P's disruption has been quite solid. Other just has not followed up very well. Life giving a very good showing, forcing Other to be at pretty much the same exact rate of movement as Life was at this point when they were blue. And Topstar with those rockets and tricky maneuvers forcing disruptors to play uncomfortably out of a normal disrupting position and trying to waste their time in a way. This is a huge push by Other up to this point. They're at 3 minutes, but more than made up for that time deficit. Life had a very solid hold before now, but now that Other has a little bit of a pushing advantage, and that player F2P just took out did not grab a health, it's going to be very difficult for Life to hold Other back at this point from just another 3%, another 2%. As Other continues to plod along, Life is just not able to set up properly the way that they were for the past minute and a half to 2 minutes. of this map. F2P on the disruption. It's now starting to work out as the rest of their teammates continue to follow up, but this cart stacking by Life is brutal. These drop shots with the rockets by Topstar are brutal as well. They're able to peek onto the cart at just the right moments and continue to follow up in a way. Try not to give away their position as well. Every time they do dash somewhere, they try to do it from a completely different and unexpected spot, as they know Other is on the warpath with the disruption, but unfortunately those rockets are not fast enough by Topstar. At the end there, Other takes map 2 as well. And that is Payload. As we head into the lobby here, we will be staying on the same server, but take a look at the scoreboards here for Life. Surprising no one, Topstar, top killing, top scoring for their team, followed close behind is Post-it Note, with just a 1 kill difference and a 100 score difference over on Other. Okay, top scoring, but top killer is Outsider for Other, with almost exactly the same score as well. A decent amount of cart riding out of those two players, it looks like, going to balance things up. So that's 2 maps for Other, 0 maps for Life. Things are looking dire, to say the least. Life has to take this next map if they want any chance at continuing forward in this Sprinter Tier finals. They have to take this quarry. It's on their server of choice, New York. It's presumably their map of choice. I don't know why it wouldn't be. It is quarry. I think Life considers this their best shot at bringing things back for a 3-0 sweep. If they can take the quarry, if they can take the waterway, if they can take the double CP, then Life will be your winners. But if Other wins this quarry, even just by 1 measly point, then that's it. Life's dreams of a Sprinter Tier championship for Season 6 will be... Season 5, excuse me, will be squandered. And Other will be your Sprinter Tier champions. As I bring this up, I'm going to go ahead and start a poll. Since this is a quarry map, I will be starting a poll here in the comments of who you think is going to be taking this next and possibly final map of the Sprinter Tier finals. Who's it going to be, Life or Other today? Unfortunately for Other, Life has gotten every advantage they can for this map. I will say that this is the only map where I think, at least, there is a near objective advantage to which color you play as first. It's not just a mindset thing. The map is asymmetric in a way where red team is closer to the B dash than blue team. There are some cheeky dash things you can do as blue to balance things out, possibly kill an enemy red player before they make it to the dash, but perfect dash versus perfect dash, red is going to get that B dash every time, and that is a huge advantage on a solid opener. If you've practiced your opener well enough, red team against a perfect blue team defense can still get a score in the first 15, 20 seconds, something like that. Again, that's assuming everything's perfect, assuming you grab that tunnel dash, assuming your rest of your teammates are able to hold B while you move past. That's something that a lot of teams have been doing on this map. However, we've also seen a lot of strategies opting more for a slow and steady, figure out your opponent's style. One thing's for sure, one of these teams is going to get a quick score in the beginning, or well, I won't do anything about it. But I will exclaim my surprise if that doesn't happen. If one team does not quickly get a score, I suspect Other might get a first initial score and then Life brings it back. That's my vote. And we can see that reflected in the polls here with a slight favor towards Life as well. Hopefully Life has practiced their openers. I know players like F2P and C2 very fast and effective with those dashing, which is all the more important on Quarry, a map where if you don't grab a dash, you have to play with your teammates. You can't just rush forward like you can on Waterway and expect to be able to do something effective. If you just walk forward blindly with no dashes, using your dashes as fast as possible, and you don't have that 5-dash pickup, you're going to be stuck. Everyone's going to know where you are unless you're very sneaky and very slow, and you're going to lose time, and losing time is the one thing you don't want on domination. You have to be fast, you have to be effective, because all it takes is one solid push by the enemy team, one solid hold, and then that's a score. Do that 3 times and that's it. Unlike Payload, you need several pushes in a row to go well, as teams can respawn in waves, but Quarry, a little bit different from Waterway. You still have to win a couple team fights in a row, in my experience, if you want a chance at getting that score, but all things considered, it still has the chance to be wicked quick. We'll head into the middle here to make sure that these teams are aware the caster is ready. Looks like Top Star might be AFK for the moment. As soon as they get back, we'll get things started, but over on Other, no player swaps here since we are on the New York server. We will not be seeing Uni here in the lobby. However, Life opting to bring Luger in for this quarry. I think they want to grab the camera. I'm going to go ahead and let them do it. Why not? There we go. Thank you, C2. A little bit of a low angle shot. This is kind of the rap album cover point of view. Especially with a skull mask. That's definitely going to be that. Thank you, Luger. Am I still being held? What's going on here? It looks like I am. Well, I guess I'm stuck in the clutches of C2 for whatever. Oh, I've been passed off. There we go. We'll just back up here to safety out of everyone's arm reach. Looks like Top Star has readied up as well, is getting the maps ready to go for Quarry on New York. Life's last chance to start and turn the momentum around in their favor. Meanwhile, Other, only one more map left to dominate before they win the Sprinter Finals. Who will take the win here? We'll just have to wait and see. And we're getting it started.
Match starts in 3, 2, 1.
Life starting on red has the opportunity to get that B dash. It looks like they're opting for Top Star to go through that tunnel. Doesn't get that tunnel dash, however. It looks like that goes in the favor of Other, who opts not to grab their own point until right now. No, I think the A button is Life's base. Life now getting a counter, grabbing their own base back just as Other starts to get a countdown. And Life getting a countdown of their own as Top Star is on a killer disruption path and barely making it in time to hit that button, recharging their dashes. Is going to be those Life players. Outsider making their way across B, gets taken out by Post-it Note. Top Star moving through the tunnel as Post-it Note gets a hit on B. Gets a kill on OK. Gets taken out by F2P, and now F2P trying to dominate this B button, but there's too many Life players alive. Luger able to start bringing things back, is not going to let Other get the momentum advantage just yet as they get a kill on Outsider. Try to dash away from OK, who had the better positioning there. And now Topstar getting the countdown. Does not turn into a point. So far the advantage has gone pretty solidly in favor of Life up to this point. As we've been seeing over and over again, players like Topstar are able to get into others' base, and not only that, get in the base and cause a distraction, a disruption, and a countdown as Life gets their 5th or so countdown up to this point. Other really needs to lock down that tunnel, as Topstar is just causing too much of a disruption, and Stubbs able to follow up as well, gets another countdown for Life. Other is just forced to play back into their base, which is not what you want to do on Quarry, not what you want to do on any domination map. Another countdown for Life. Topstar going for the button hold, doesn't have the dashes, but he doesn't need them. Life gets the first point, has the advantage on Quarry. That was a, all things considered, not an immediate score, but a fairly quick first point, as we are less than 4 minutes into this map. Life already has a point, and they've looked fairly dominant the entire time. It wasn't just a trick, it wasn't just a fluke. Their strategy is locked in, and Topstar actually gets the tunnel dash this time. Unlike last time, they have an opportunity to score right away. It looks like they're going to go for the dash first. As Adoption Papers moves through the tunnel, Life has their own base, has others' base. But we can see Adoption Papers in the bottom left was trying to get something done. Now it's Topstar hiding over in others' base. Does not get the kill on OK, who wised up and was able to defend their point effectively. Other getting a countdown now, as Just Drums tries to get hit onto Other's base. Now it's Topstar moving through the tunnel, Post-it note in the bottom left, moving towards B to follow up, since Other has pretty much fully dominated that B button, but there's not enough other players moving forward in force towards Life's base to get any sort of slow and steady push. They need to have players sneaking past through the tunnel, like Topstar has been able to do pretty much every single time that they try. As long as Life holds back Other in front of B, eventually they're going to take the point, which they do just as Topstar gets taken out. You see Topstar in the bottom left. This is basically just Topstar's tunnel match in the bottom left perpetually, as they get another kill and control of Other's base. Life losing B, losing their own. A countdown for Other. Outsider, a pretty solid hold so far, but they're all by themselves. Is not able to hold the button. Just Drums getting a very important kill there, as Outsider did not have the cover of the button either, and now Life is going to be able to bring things back. But it looks like there's still other players left alive, actually surprising me how long these other players have been able to last around this button, considering the spawn advantage of Life. It looks like they're flooding over and over again through the tunnel and continuing to get countdowns, trying to win by a spawn lock, which they do, and Other brings it to 1-1 for Quarry. This looks like it's going to be a fairly quick Quarry, all things considered. No matter which way it swings, it's going to end early. We are only just now starting to hit that 5-minute mark, and already 2 points overall scored. Adoption Papers opting for a slow rollout through that tunnel, basically expecting that Topstar is going to get that dash, which they do, but they were not able to take out Topstar, and unfortunately Life has their own base, has Other's base as well. Other able to counter, but I don't think this is going to turn into a point anytime soon. There's just too many other players left alive. It's going to be countdown after countdown, but if this turns into a point... Okay, there we go. Outsider opting to check back just in case someone's going to be going for them, as they sneakily make their way to B with their pistol shotgun. It seems like Outsider's classic loadout here. Getting a hit on B, but Life is seemingly everywhere all at once, and is making things very difficult for Other to get any sort of solid forward momentum. Anytime Other makes a push towards the tunnel, there's Topstar dashing through the tunnel quickly and skipping towards Life's base, or towards Other's base, forcing them to turn around or move forward and risk not being able to make it in time for a point. And Life getting a second countdown as Other gets wiped. Another point for Life. Life bringing it 2-1. If Life's able to bring this sort of energy into the waterway afterwards, they have a chance of making it to this control point.
2-1. Match point.
Match point for Life. They are continuing with Ol Reliable, Topstar through the tunnel. They missed the dash, but that's okay. They've been in this position before. Other needs to get their own base now. I think that's the one thing that's missing from their opener that Life does have over Other, is being able to grab that tunnel dash and the B dash and their own button consistently. That is something that Other seems to be struggling with, as only just now got their own base, but the advantage has already shifted back towards Life. Good hiding position by Adoption Papers there, trying to get some sneaky kills, and C2 also following up. A quick countdown started for Other, but Life continuing to maintain control of buttons where they can. Just Drums gets a counter there on the button. And OK, trying to lock down B. Will Just Drums be able to get that tunnel dash? It looks like they will. And they move past, they grab the health as well, dodging C2, but C2 able to follow up due to a lack of dashing and use of cover. Topstar now moving through the basement of Other as OK makes their way towards Life's base. A countdown for Other. Just Drums with the counter and kill. Topstar is now tearing things up once again in Other's base, and there's only 3 other players left alive. A counter at Life's base of all places, but the Life player was left alive to counter there before too many other players could respawn. It's now Topstar versus the world as he gets 2 kills, gets taken out. I think this won't turn into a score at this point, now that Topstar has been taken out. But things are going really well for Life now. Adoption Papers did grab that tunnel dash, did get the kill on Topstar as well. That is a huge momentum advantage for Other. Will they be able to capitalize on it? It looks like Adoption Papers is hiding in that tunnel, waiting for Topstar and waiting for the rest of their teammates to get control of B first before starting to disrupt. Does not win the 1v1 though. That was an important 1v1 to win. If they won it, they would have had the dashes to then take a hiding place somewhere else and cause more and more Life players to get held up in their own base. They got taken out, and now Life is going to start to recover momentum here. We can see Post-it Note gets a kill on F2P. Is trying to wait for this B dash as well. C2 a little bit attacking outside of Life's base in the bottom left. We can see there. Starts to get a countdown going, and Just Drums gets the counter. Does not win that 1v1 there, and now C2 on the health. Just trying to kill player after player. Starting to get a countdown for Other. It looks like there's only 3 Life players left alive, but no button hold means Life is going to be able to counter. OK, getting some sick kills, and the rest of Other following up, holding that button. And there's just Drums, just Drums. Will they get the kill? No, Other ties it up 2-2. Oh no, this is terrible for Life. Now they have to get this quick point, or else Other might be able to end things here and now. Things are tied up. It is not looking great for Life after their immediate domination. Things have just been back and forth so much, so swingy. It's hard to tell who's going to be taking this map. It looks like overall Life has the strategy, has the kills as well, generally in their advantage, but will they be able to take out Other on this map the next time that they push? It looks like Topstar has been eliminated from Other's base, and Outsider is pretty solidly holding B. I think the longer this match drags on, the more and more advantage I'd give to Other for being able to adapt to this rapid fire play style by Life. Outsider, a bit of rapid fire play of their own, takes out 2 players, and a bit of a countdown for Other. Does get countered. Another countdown for Other, but C2 gets taken out. F2P trying to follow up here and force use of dashes out of Life as another countdown for Other happens, but no button hold means Life is going to be able to counter. Good counter by Topstar, who is now going to be making their way through the gauntlet of Tunnel against C2, who does get the kill. Topstar being taken out means Other has the momentum advantage in their favor. Once again, they have their own base. They have B. Life only has their own base. And Stubbs, along with one other teammate, is going to be getting some hits on the B button, but it's anybody's button at this point as F2P gets 2 kills, and C2 is able to follow up on the button. Topstar taken out. And now the rest of Life able to respawn, but will Other be able to kill them all? They're all locked up in their own base. F2P holding the button. Pretty sick hold, all things considered, that they had no other supporting players on their team out and about, but Topstar makes it through the tunnel. does not get the kill on C2, and now Other gets control of that tunnel, and Outsider gets a hit on Life's base, but no countdown for them, as there's enough Life players throughout the map to bring things back into Life's favor, with 2 points versus none for a moment for Other. Other struggling to get their own base back. C2 with the defensive posturing able to get 1 kill. I think there might be... No, there's no other Life players left in the base. They are going to get that tunnel dash, however. Or not. C2 just rapid fire moving through that tunnel. Grabs the far dash as well. This is terrible for Life. If Other's able to get B anytime soon, they're going to get a countdown, and then there were only 3 Life players left alive. Now just 2 Life players left alive and a multi-person hold on the button. Other does not get the point as the hold gets messed up. C2 or somebody on Life was too focused on getting the kills, and that's terrible for Other as they get countdown after countdown, but I'd be very surprised if this turned into a point, as pretty much every Life player is left alive. Now it's just Stubbs and a countdown. Is C2 going to actually be able to hold it this time? Stubbs gets the counter. No, he did not use the button for cover. Oh my gosh. Other is throwing point after point. Good headshot by Stubbs there as well. Life is going to have another opportunity at starting to get the momentum back into their favor. It's still not looking great considering that last continuous push by Other, but Other is just not able to hold this button effectively, and meanwhile Life, every time they've tried, every time they've been able to, has been able to hold that button well enough to get 2 points out of it. Others won by team wipes, but while Life has won by team wipes as well, we saw they were holding that button pretty effectively. I think that's a very important thing, especially for this map when it takes so long just to get to a button. You can't always rely on the kills to give you control of the enemy base and win you a countdown war. Sometimes you have to rely on that cheeky button hold. And Topstar is well aware of that, trying to hold this button and distract those other players as much as possible, but there's just too many left alive. C2's aim too cracked. And Other has an opportunity to make things back once again. We can also see adoption papers in the bottom left, sneakily hiding in Life's base. However, it looks like they messed up the timing just a little bit, as Life starting to get a countdown into Other's base, and Topstar really distracting C2, barely gets countered there. Oh my goodness, Other playing it so close. They are on a razor's edge every single time Life either gets a countdown or Other gets a countdown. It's so close to being one way or the other. C2 also playing very defensively. It looks like they're just trying to wait things out until an opportunity presents itself, by and large. And I don't know how I feel about this. It looks like an opportunity has presented itself for C2 as they grab that far dash but get taken out by Post-it Note. Damn. Now it's 2 other players over in the rocket here. Post-it Note trying to force them to expose themselves. Okay, now watching that button, but Stubbs gets the kill there. Outsider moving in from the tunnel, and Stubbs grabs the far dash. It looks like they were about to just barely move past each other, but Stubbs gets the kill on C2, makes their way to B, just in time to counter that as well. Now it's F2P versus Stubbs, takes them out, hits the B button as well, and it's a countdown for Other. Not turning into a point, however, as we start to reach the 15-minute mark, the 10 minutes left. Another countdown for Other. And it looks like a lot of Life players were dangerously out of position there, barely getting that counter. Oh my goodness, that was close. Life is starting to try and get momentum in their favor once again, but it's like waves crashing against the rock. That is Life with the way that Other is playing. They continue to be able to get the advantage back in their favor over and over again and start to get countdowns in Life's base recently. And then Life just defends it. They simply defend it and turn things around and force Other to recede like the tides back towards their base and start things over again with another wave. Other needs to change up their strategy, or else this rock-solid defense and offense is going to end up winning Life this map and being able to bring things to a waterway. Post-it Note trying to move forward, but flanked by Outsider and OK is going to take them out. And this is something that really benefits Other, with the way that Other has been playing, the way that Life has been playing. If Life players try to sneak past and there's enough Other players just set up in the in-between spaces between points, then those life players are pretty much guaranteed to get taken out. We can see Life is very good at flooding for the most part, but Other has played just a little bit more together recently. It's not quite as much one player or another disrupting out of nowhere and getting some crazy kills turning into a point like it has been for Topstar and Post-it Note for the most part up to this point. However, it looks like one of those crazy dashes is going to happen. I think one thing that's really working out for Other at this point that they've really changed is locking down that far dash much more often. They are forcing everybody on their team to take it anytime it's up, not allowing anyone from Tunnel on Life to be able to take that far dash. Life, meanwhile, has not changed up a whole lot about their strategy that I can tell so far, and that is going to cost them as they are even 2-2, but they need this win. And having players like Adoption Papers in your base is not what you want to hear. Good counter by Post-it Notes there. And Stubbs, trying to get a countdown for Life, is not going to be able to turn it into the point that they wanted. C2 takes them out, grabs that tunnel dash as well. Kill on Just Drums. F2 starting a countdown for Other once again is going to be trying to slow up those Life players and outkill them in their own base, but as we've seen time and time again, the wave crashes against the rocks. That strategy is just not that effective unless you're insanely outskilling the enemy team, which Other is just not quite doing here. They are outkilling them pretty solidly, which is why the strategy is working at all. It might turn into Other's third point. With only Topstar alive, not in position to get the counter, Other are your Sprinter tier champions. Winning map 3, that's 3 wins versus not. Other takes it. 3-2 on Quarry. Let's take a look at the scoreboards here on the correct screen. Topstar, surprising no one, outscoring everybody in the lobby. 16,000 points and 2 additional points just to be the cherry on top. 37 kills there. F2P over on Other. Top scoring for their team, not far behind with 15,000 points. 55 kills, 32 deaths. Well done. That was way more exciting than I was prepared for it to be. That was really back and forth, and that was quite the match. I hope everybody in the comment section enjoyed themselves. Everyone watching this stream live and watching it back in post enjoyed themselves as much as I did. Other are your Sprinter tier champions. And with that being said, we are going to call it here. I've been Notgollum, everyone's second favorite caster, but by and large your favorite commentator in everyone's hearts and minds and facts, and I will see you all in the next one.